How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines 2, where we are going to be spending some time unpacking the brand new patch dubbed the Decorations patch. And this one's actually interesting. It does address a pretty major issue that has been plaguing us for quite a while, especially in Tampere, and that is homelessness. And so homelessness in particular has been plaguing us for quite some time. As you can see in this example in our downtown, this park is littered with tents and burning barrels. You can see zooming into this park as well. It's just everywhere. And I think this actually does have a knock-on effect of how many people actually utilize the park. This one does look like it does have some people using it still. But this would be, in real life, this is a huge social issue. And so having all these tents everywhere and homeless people really puts a burden on the city in a lot of different ways. And so I love to see that they're addressing it. Let's go ahead and dive into the patch notes real quick. So here are the patch notes. And the first thing that we're going to go over is the reason why it's dubbed the decorations patch. And it is because they added in 300 decoration props. And these are all props that were already in the game, but they were basically hidden in the background for some various reason. I'm not really sure. You could get to them using Find It. But now they have their own dedicated menu, and we're actually going to be going over it in just a few seconds. It's actually really fun. It makes detailing quite a bit easier, especially filling in a lot of those little empty spaces next to residential and stuff. And then the big one. So fixed issues with homeless citizens. So fixed homeless citizens not seeking a way out of homelessness. That's a huge issue. So you have a bunch of homeless people pre-patch that were just happy being homeless. But then you have fixed homeless citizens having a good household wealth. That's kind of weird. So again, that could be more realistic. I'm not really sure. So fixed newly spawned households still moving in being counted as homeless. So that's pretty big as well. We do not want newly spawned households to be moving in or counted as homeless. And so increase the cost of shelter and home finding jobs to reduce homeless households. Nice. And then added moving in household count, which is the household looking for property to move into, and added a maximum to stop new households from spawning when many are already looking for homes. So that's nice. So basically what that means is as we build out new residential, it's going to allocate a certain amount of space for the homeless within your city. And one of the tips that they did give for this patch for bigger cities already is that you could expand out with new residential, and it'll kind of help your city to balance with the new homelessness fixes. There are a lot of other smaller fixes in here. I'm not really going to go over a lot of them. They did adjust the upkeep for the metro stations, which is really nice. So adjusted subway station 1, 2, and 3 construction costs, upkeep costs, and XP rewards, which is nice. This one's really big, especially in Tampere. So we were getting a pretty large amount of noise pollution for our underground freeway. That is now going to be fixed, which is awesome. A bunch of small UI fixes. A lot of this stuff I don't really keep a log of because you're just getting bombarded with small problems a lot of times. Like if you're having a rough day or something like that. And I don't, there was quite a few things that could cause the game to crash. And so seeing this large list of things that they are aware of is really nice. And so if you guys do have any issues, go ahead and let me know. I can go ahead and add it into the forum. There is also an official forum for you to express your own concerns. Like if you do have some bugs that you're coming across or something that you want them to work on. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link down below to the patch notes and also to the forum if you guys are interested in submitting some of your own bugs. They are definitely doing their best to optimize the game as best they can, and so I try to give them patience. I've heard from mod developers that this game is incredibly complex, and so fixing a lot of these issues just takes time. And so it's nice to see that they're working on it. Let's go ahead and jump back into the game. All right, so now the exciting part, let's go ahead and jump into the landscaping tab. And you will find that we now have a bunch of new tabs, and there is one missing as well. If you have extra assets installed, then you will not see the decal tab, which would be right here, because it's still going to remain within the extra assets tab. This could be something that maybe we get an update from the mod developer for extra assets. I'm not really sure. It's not a huge thing for me because having the decals in there actually does kind of make a little bit of sense. But so the first one is nature. We have all of our rocks, we have our tombs, we have rock piles, we have these stone heads. I really like that they added in the random rocks as well. I think this is really nice. This is definitely what I usually use. It's better than having to turn, boulders all the time. I think it's just a really nice touch, and it kind of looks like maybe we don't have the small rocks too. They just added the rock random, which is still kind of nice though. Now we can actually, decorate with rocks. I'm getting a little bit of trailing. But then your next tab is parks. And so these are going to be all your benches, your gazebos, You got some fountains in here, which is just awesome to see. You got some trash bins. And so now you can just do a bunch of detailing without having to use Find It, which is really nice. All of this stuff was already in the game. And so it was actually kind of surprising to see when they released that they had kind of tucked all this in the back. Like, this definitely should have already been out in the front. So it's nice to see that they are bringing it all forward. The next one is potted plants. So we have our small little planters and stuff. None of them in particular are my favorite, but they are nice to have. These are the assets that are utilized for a lot of your residential and stuff like that. But look at that, you even got like this little stand. Now you're able to place these and kind of do your own custom parks, which is really nice. And then your next three are going to be residential props, industrial props, and commercial props. I really like that they added these in. I think it is fantastic. The residential props has a ton of tabs, and there's a ton of really good stuff in here. Like, I like that they even got, you know, the ice hockey goal. They got some chairs, they got lawn chairs, they got a little grill. You got these greenhouse kind of things. You got sandboxes. I really, really like that they added the pergolas in here. They didn't add in the one-sided pergolas, which is kind of interesting, but honestly, you don't really need them. You can still use these ones, and then just use Find It to find the one-sided ones if you want to do something, you know, in particular. We got trash bins. We got really a lot of stuff for us to be able to expand on our own now. And so industrial, this is all the stuff that I use for our big industrial area over here. And it's kind of funny because it's stuff that I, you know, had to dig through Find It, and Find It works really well, but it is nice to have all this stuff in a tab. So now, like, we'll be able to find the barrels, we'll be able to find the crates, and this is how I did all this small detailing right here once I started doing these yards. And this is something that is very common for industrial areas. Like, you do have yards, especially if it's manufacturing. Like, you're going to have product yards where, you know, these are all products that they're trying to sell, whatever it is, you know, coils, steel, wood. I mean, it could really be anything. And so having these in the game is just fantastic. I think it's kind of interesting. They only added in the crates, the barrels. It doesn't look like they added in the steel or like the rods, which is kind of interesting. That would have been nice to see in here. Also the wood would have been nice. Maybe it's in another tab. So now we're going to go into commercial. And so you have all your benches, you have your vending machines. It doesn't really seem like a lot, but honestly, just having these tabs lays the foundation for us to be able to add more stuff into this as we go on. So I could definitely see, you know, DLCs down the road putting all their props into these tabs, which is just awesome. I really like having this in the game, especially for the console people. This is going to be really nice because they're not going to really have a lot of access to, like, they're not going to have access to Find It. They will have access to assets, and so this is definitely going to help us to keep things organized. And then your last one is debris. So this is where you're going to get like your, you know, your rubble piles and stuff like that. Like, I ended up doing some details over here where this is probably like a, you know, recycling center of some kind where they take various types of rubble. So you got rubble, you got wood rubble chips, you got like collapsed building chips. And so it's nice being able to place those in. You even got these little like kind of stones in there. A lot of these you do still need to use in conjunction with Anarchy, which is kind of frustrating. I really hope that they do work on the collision. I think the collision needs to be adjusted a little bit. But then we got all these boxes too. So for all of your, you know, decorations next to these buildings, like you can place that there. It did kind of mess with the decal a little bit. But just being able to place these small details in there really helps your city to come alive, especially for builds like this, where I got a little crazy and started doing all these small details like these yards, and being able to put this stuff in there, it really helps your city to just come alive. And so I love that they added all these in, and I love that they gave it to us for free. So it really just provides value. And again, for those console people, this is going to be gold having all this here. Bring all of it forward. I mean, honestly, I'm a big proponent. If anything is in the game and it's some sort of small asset like that, just allow us to place it. Even plopping, like, allow us to place the buildings. Because a lot of people, the way that they approach this game is more like a modeling perspective. And that's just how they play. You know, they prefer to try and model out cities. And you guys see me do it sometimes. Like, I'll get hyper focused even on this, you know, industrial area. Like, a lot of this would fall more into the category of playing like a modeling game, like you're modeling a car or something like that. And so being able to place in those small details really goes a long ways. I love to see that they're doing this. All right. And so I think that those fixes are absolutely amazing. And I really like to see that they're working on feedback that they're receiving. There's really a ton of bug fixes. And so the game overall should run quite a bit better. I like that they added in those decorations, just bringing all this stuff forward. I'm a huge proponent of them just honestly bringing everything forward. Anything that's in the game, just put it in a menu somewhere. Like, we really shouldn't have to use something like Find It, especially in a game like this. But you know, for our first patch after the summer, I think that this is a good direction. I think we're moving in the right direction. Hopefully we can see assets here soon. And so if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We are still working on the city of Tampere, which is the city right here, but we also have another city called Bayport. Feel free to check it out. And I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I will see you on the next one.